Is this mic on? Is the stream working? Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to Getting Worked. It's your boy Jarrett. I'm hanging out here with my boy Ian. How in the hell's it going, dude?
Man, it has been a while. What's going on, buddy?
Woo!
Doing good here. Yeah, just got back a week or two ago, so I'm settling in a little bit more. Man, it's good to be back.
Folks who don't know, Ian just ran through his own National Lampoon's European vacation for his honeymoon, no less.
Yep.
My boy, we got our boy hitched.
Yeah,
about almost a month ago.
Yeah, it has. I was sitting there trying to count it off. Just about.
You're just like getting things. I remember it's like, it's about a month ago. I was like kind of getting everything just lined up and hooked up and everything so I can make the trip back east, you know?
Yeah, it was. Woo! Yeah, because, I mean, shoot, as far as getting things straight, no, it's not even a little bit right now in the house, trying to get everything moved around and getting all her stuff from her house to this one. And it's like, yay, we got it here. Now, if only we could get through the living room while out jumping into stuff. But yeah, we went to Europe for 2 weeks, and it was absolutely amazing. At some point, I'm going to do a stream and try to put some of the stuff I learned. If you ever go to Europe, things to do, at least the stuff that I did, and don't do certain things that I did because it was dumb, that type of stuff.
The quintessential dumbass American goes to Europe.
Pretty much. It was
and that's not even a knock on you, man. That's just yeah. If you haven't done it, it's a different thing. It was a totally
100% different beast altogether for me. Fortunately, my wife, she speaks a bunch of languages, so that was very helpful. So that was extremely helpful, actually. The only one we were going to both struggle with was French, which for some reason I could remember I was clearly an expert with my 6 weeks that I took back in 6th grade. So I clearly knew everything there was to know about French. So we were good there. No, I will say France, a lot of people get a bad rap when it comes to France. We had an amazing time. Everyone was super chill, really nice. I think we ran into like one person who was sort of standoffish, but literally everybody else was super nice.
You go to New York. Problem. You go to New York, every other person's gonna be.
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. So, they were like, people.
Right, exactly.
That was the biggest thing. I'll say probably if there's nothing else from the trip, it was one of those things, but you don't know until you kind of go through it. Switching totally different cultures, not understanding. For me, I speak English barely some days. I can't speak Portuguese. I can't speak Spanish. Despite my heritage, I can't speak Spanish. It's sad. The French, obviously, my whole 6 weeks was a joke. French back in 6th grade, and I don't speak Italian. And I happened to hit all of those countries that spoke all of those. But just going and reading just people interacting, and we're just people, like everybody.
Yeah.
We all have the same problems. We all have the same. Some are, we like this, we don't like that. Others like that, but don't like this. We're just people. Like all the divided, and I'm not being preachy, but all the divided stuff is so freaking stupid when you get to a place like that.
It really is.
We're so much better. No, you're not. You're just as dumb as they are. Or they're just as dumb as you are. You're both as smart as you are. But it's just people being people. Man.
Yeah,
just get along. It's ignorance. On all sides, American or otherwise. It's
Yep. I've had the opportunity to travel a little bit out of the States, but what I will say is that where where I've really been able to gather the most insight from is having the opportunity to work for a multinational company
Hmm.
and working with people. And like you can talk to Ian, it's like the big reason why my schedule is jacked up as it is because I have to work with so many people from various different countries and dealing with the time
Zones,
right?
and
It's just
which is something
that is
I quickly
that's
had to get used to,
yeah,
because I
it's
was 6 hours, 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours, depending on where I was.
and so I mean, yeah, I've been working with people from Singapore to India to various different places in Europe, South Africa, just uh, and yeah, you especially where we've had and this is something where I really want to see a lot of the some of the restrictions from the COVID side of things to start to pick up and start to open up travel, and especially like for our company, maybe start to fund more travel because um before COVID we would have folks come into Boise, Idaho, where I am now, or I would get to fly out to different places and interact with people and meet people face to face. Yeah, you'd see them in like the Zoom calls, you'd have the emails going back and forth. But especially when you just, and it's not to say that you can't do this if you're not someone that drinks, but I'll tell you something. If you can just kick back and just have a drink at a bar with somebody from across the planet and just kick back and just talk about your problems and just kind of just
down all the guards,
have
all the pretext, just be people.
Just kind of have that kind of just that down the home natural just conversation with somebody. It really isn't that different. It really just like you can just kick back and like also especially now saving grace. I mean also let's toss out the let's put a little shout out to all these people from around the world that are also learning English so us dumbass Americans can talk to them.
First off, good luck. Let me tell you, you're gonna need it with English. I'm glad I defaulted with that one because learning it,
learning it's a different beast. So that speaks something to them too. Because, but also it definitely helps to have it helps to have a common language. You can speak to somebody and interact with them. But once you have that, that's it. Really, once you have that, you're really miles away, and you don't even realize it. You're always you're already miles in. Closer. On bringing everything together, and everyone's just kind of dealing with a lot of the same shit. That's another thing that I think that like stuff like YouTube and even Twitch and stuff like that, especially for the countries that can get them because you see so many folks on YouTube or like Twitch or like that have people coming in from different countries, either commenting on a video or coming in on a stream or whatever. And so I think that's another thing that's kind of helped to kind of pull things together and kind of help draw people in from various different interests and stuff like that. I think it's incredible. And so, I mean, if you can just put it together and just make it happen, I'd say, like, even if you can just like find like a country, like a part of a country and say, I'm going to go there. I'm going to spend a couple of days there and come back. It's worth it because
I can't stress that enough.
It really is. It really does help to build
and also go ahead.
No, only thing I was going to say is it just helps to build up the rapport.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all.
And along the kind of the same lines, when you do go to other countries, don't look for McDonald's. They'll be there. In fact, that'll probably be the first thing you see. I'm just gonna tell. Actually, it was the first thing.
I
It
would
was the
say,
funniest thing.
I would say,
I got off the plane in Lisboa, uh,
Lisbon, yeah.
and the first, literally the first restaurant I see. I'm at the airport, walk out of the gate, past security, customs, or whatever it is. The first restaurant I see is McDonald's in the airport still, and it's the first one. I'm like, really? I came all the way here to get. No, I'm not going to McDonald's. I'm never going. Like, I'm just not going there. There was part of me that did want to go to one before I left, and ended up not doing it. But I kind of wanted to go to one before I left just to see the difference. Like what was on the menu was different, that type of thing. If you do it for that reason, yeah. But go immerse yourself in. Go find the strangest looking food that you can find and try it.
Yeah.
And go. We had pastel. I say it wrong every time. Pastel Janatas. I think I'm sorry. I'm terrible at this. It's these little pastries. It was in Portugal, and it's these little pastries. If you just kind of glanced at, you would almost think they were similar to like a lemon pie. Like that's what it looks like, but it wasn't lemon in any way. It was just good vanilla custardy type of thing is probably the easiest way to describe what it was. But these little things, and it looked like they were burnt at the top. They were just that seared, and they were amazing. They had this, and my mind's blanking now that I'm trying to say the things, but this it was this cherry. Oh man, it's gonna bug me. It was like ginger, but it was this cherry liqueur, which was common. Ooh. Like it was their drink. They had that everywhere.
Right.
And I mean everywhere. If you went into just a bakery, they would have a big container of it up on the shelf on the counter, and you could buy a shot for $1. That type of thing. So it was just common. You go get your shot, and at morning. Yeah. Drinking in general there's not the stereotypical. Well, if you're in America and you start breaking out drinks at 9 a.m., people are like,
so I can have a problem. I can tell you, I can tell you the whole thing about that. Mm-hmm. Is that, so outside of maybe like Scotland and Ireland, and like Caribbean and Russia, if you think about it, like the development of hard liquor, but also, you're looking at countries that never had a prohibition.
Right. True.
The overall alcohol.
Prohibition wasn't that long ago for us.
No, it wasn't.
Really wasn't.
And a lot of crazy stuff happened through that, and then it carried over even after prohibition ended. But what happened is that you have countries where you have a lot of those like liqueurs and things like that. The individual alcohol content isn't as strong necessarily, and so then you just kind of drink on it, kind of like through the day. It's all over the place. And it's not like there's no thought about somebody, like you said, going up and just buying a shot of this and just taking a shot because.
In fact, you were kind of almost supposed to do it in the morning. Which,
sure.
I mean, I didn't want anyone to feel like bad, so I, of course, had to do that.
Yeah, that's why you did it.
I thought it would be rude if I didn't, honestly. It would be rude if I didn't do it. So I wasn't going to make us all look bad as Americans.
Right.
So
made
sure I took 8 or 9 just to be sure.
Yeah, it's just kind of that, and like with like wine, and also like pasta, like especially like in Italy and parts out there, it's like not as fattening as it is out here. The way it's made, the grains used, it hasn't been as industrialized and mass processed the way it has out here.
The thing that you would think is the most common food in all the world, pizza. It's probably not the most common food, but you know what I'm saying. Pizza is pizza. It's round, it's dough, it's cheese. It's great. just the way they serve pizzas, completely different. As goofy as that sounds.
Yeah,
So
no, it is, because
here in the States, you cut it all, you get your pie and it's cut in, your 8 slices or 6 slices or 4, however, big your pizza is, that type of thing. And it's all cut up for you, and it's here. They don't cut the pizza.
No.
At all. They just bring you a pizza and they're like, here you go. It's like, that is still all together. I've never gotten to this point. Do I fold what's going on? And so that, but the whole point, it's all about presentation. Everything as far as European food in general seemed to be about presentation, especially once we got to Italy.
Yeah.
Especially when we got to Italy. It was all about presentation. And if you look at a pizza, it's one of those things that you go, I kind of see both. I can see both sides, but yeah, I see both sides, which is the point. That's sort of the point.
Yep.
It's just a different way of doing it.
I grew up where pizza that I'd get at home was not going to be what we got out, like say like a Domino's or whatever.
Oh, well, yeah.
So
bad example. Domino's to yeah.
Or like even like wherever. I mean, like name a pizza place. Even like what you get, like even like name like your Italian like general like Italian place in Brooklyn.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not the same thing.
No.
Like it was literally like what I got. Again, like my family is more like Sicilian than Italian, really, but close enough. It was literally a pie. Like it had a crust on top.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the meats and the cheeses and all that. And it was basically kind of how it was.
Was it closer to deep dish?
Kind of not as deep as Chicago deep dish. That's a whole different thing. Beast. But yeah, deeper than like if you think of like your traditional like apple pie,
right?
Pumpkin pie, whatever, cherry pie, like you would get. That's kind of what.
Wu-Tang, right? Yeah.
Like whatever you get. Yeah. That's a different. That's a whole different story.
I like to throw things. So you got to do that to Jarrett every so often. Just like
my brain was like, I heard what you said.
It was a hard turn. The funny thing, we all could see Jarrett just slowly like
does not compute.
Slowly turning. Okay, you know what? At that point, we better stop.
Well, the only thing, my only closing comment about that.
What were you going to actually say?
Let's close. You know what? This is a great transition and a great close off that we can relate over here. We're talking about traveling around the world and how there's things far more in common than there are differences. I will say that Wu-Tang pie is one of those things that are far more common than there are differences.
Fair enough. And see, we all come back together.
And we all come back together. And I bear no guilt for saying that because you're the one that sent me there.
Yep. Pretty much.
The other thing is like, that's the other thing. You sent you sent me down a direction.
I was gonna say we needed to make a heart. So what we're really talking about tonight, I'm just gonna do the like worst segue ever.
Good job.
Right here.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yep.
The professional.
Dang right.
No, we're talking about NBA season. New NBA season.
My God, the season
and before
already.
the season even started, like crazy stuff was happening.
It seemed like as far as the NBA goes, we really
it's like hold my beer. Here's the biggest story. Hold my beer. I'll be right back.
We really picked a bad time to take a break. In a way, but also in a sense, it is also good to be able to come in now and then talk in retrospect, and then also now we're at the launch of the season and start talking about what all this rumor roll means. to the NBA moving forward, because this has been, and I you know, from just being like busy and then flying back east and then coming back and then trying to like this time of year for me is rough work wise, and then just like it's been a weird time for me to really kind of dig in the way I would like to.
Sure.
And then at the same time, the craziest shit has happened between the off-season trades, who's playing for who, what do these teams look like anymore, freaking Butler's playing power forward for Miami, freaking Go Bears in Minnesota, the Lakers like look
I don't
like
know the players
I
on
don't
their team.
even know what's
I know
going
them,
on.
But I don't know them.
Somehow,
Don't know
some
them
way,
there.
some way, the Brooklyn Nets have turned out to have one of the best shooting teams in the NBA. Like, I don't know what's left and right or what's up and down right now. Now, also, let me preface this by saying I'm not complaining.
Oh, no.
Because this makes for a very, very interesting start for a season. And then to try and figure out where is parity, who's jockeying for what, and who could possibly like position themselves to really be the go-to, like, yep, these this is the top.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know what's happening right now. There's so much that I'm sitting here looking at it and like, holy flipping crap, dude. Like, the East by itself has really solidified itself as the side to look at.
Yeah.
But then also you have, oh, wait a minute, this team in the West called the Clippers. You may want to pay attention to them because they got John Wall too.
And oh yeah, that dude that has been gone for a long time.
Yes.
We've kind of forgotten.
Yes.
Kawhi here is this Kawhi Leonard dude is kind of good.
Oh, and they got Paul George too, because you know why not? Because like you know. I don't know. I really don't know. And so I think, okay, so
let's I tell you what, let's start with your team out west. Let's talk about
Denver.
So the Nuggets are healthy, right?
See,
everybody back? Is everybody back?
As of right now, yes. But this is tentative because I think this is one of those things that unfortunately has been woefully plaguing this team just no matter what. Jokic has been the anchor.
Sure.
Like, not just like as far as like playing the five, but just not getting hurt, just being the guy that's always been there game after game through the playoffs as far as they can get. It's the rest of the team that they need to kind of build up. But right now, if the way they're looking, if they're healthy and they can really, I won't say it's a championship year for them, but I will say is that if they stay healthy and they may be able to make some smart moves by the trade deadline, I think they could be a strong contender in the West, maybe even making it to the Western Conference Finals.
So when was the last time we saw them fully healthy? Was the bubble?
Oh, when when God talked to Moses even before this team was even put together.
Yeah, those because
It was written.
so right
it was
now,
written down. There was a list on paper of a starting 5 by the tablets. By the tablets.
It was
They
on the
didn't
back.
know.
They
didn't know what it meant. They didn't know what it meant. They didn't know what it
Yeah,
meant.
they were just like Porter. I don't know.
It was right there.
Porter.
And
Michael's
and nobody really made much sense of it, and never really bothered with it. And that's about the last time that they were healthy.
So
and it's not even the same people, because Gary Harris was on the list, and he's not even on the team
He's
anymore.
not even there anymore.
So,
yeah.
it's what,
So
Indiana?
Their
I don't
starting
know.
5 right now is Michael Porter Jr.,
Michael Porter Jr.,
Aaron
dear God.
Gordon.
Okay, yep.
Aaron Gordon, Nikola, well, of course, Joker. And then is it Caldwell Pope? Does he start at the 2?
See, I'm
just looking at the minutes from their first game.
I think that I think so. KCP, I'm glad we picked him up, because
he could be a really good, especially considering the other names I just rattled off. And then, of course, Jamal Murray being the point guard.
And so I think they could play around with KCP. I could see him not even necessarily being the starter, but being an incredible asset off the bench at both the 3 and the 2. Basically being that 3-and-D wing, and coming in even off the bench. But I'm not mad at him starting at the 2.
Sure.
But even if I wouldn't necessarily play it by minutes. Again, it's still too early to say. I could see him maybe even putting in more minutes than say when you're starting 2, because then he might be coming in and then switching up positionally depending on the defensive matchups that they need him for, because he's actually a very solid perimeter defender. And so depending on, say, like if you're going up against Brooklyn, I would put him on Joe Harris regardless of what, like whether he's playing the 2 or the 3. I don't care. Put KCP on him. You know,
just go follow him.
Match him 3 for 3 and be a better defender than him. I'll take that all day. And so, I mean,
it's positionless basketball these days. So that's
sure. It's more about matchups. It's more about matchups. It's more about trying to figure out, like, okay, offensively you want to try and offensively you can't control who you're going against, but who can be. And KCP's been a solid 3-point shooter, regardless of who's gone up against him. Not like not like no, he's not like elite tier offensively, but he's a solid, very, very solid piece to put in. And so yeah, I was happy to see that he went over to Denver. So yeah, if you can keep some of those pieces in, I want to see how deep their bench truly is. That's my question mark right now. I want to see how
like Bruce Brown Jr., who played for the Nets, I want to say last year, he was their sort of super sub as far as minutes go. Anyhow,
sure,
one game, always hard to tell. As far as one game, just random it could be. But they have like Jeff Green is off the bench, DeAndre Jordan, or the carcass that is DeAndre Jordan at this point. Ish Smith. They've got some names that
they got some people that can come in, and then it's more again, and so it's more about fit, right? Because
you got a name Highland. I don't know him.
Yeah,
Nashawn.
Think about you think about this. As soon as you take the Joker out, then you're having to kind of switch up how you're playing basketball, right?
Oh, sure.
But
Aaron Gordon can slide over because he's a big, stronger type. What I was going to say
is that when you take Joker out given all the different things that he does and the way that he does them.
Oh yeah.
And then you slot in someone like Jordan.
Throw all of that out the window.
That's a completely
We're
different.
not doing any of that playbook
a complete
anymore.
Paradigm shift. Or even even as good as Aaron Gordon. Like, and you know what? I've got a lot of respect for Aaron Gordon. The same way I've got a lot of respect for Blake Griffin because of the way they've shifted their game, and have been willing to evolve their game throughout their career. I got a lot of respect for those guys. Because it means they're dedicated to playing basketball, right?
Yeah, the game.
You know, they're not as ego driven necessarily. Look at Aaron Gordon, a guy who won the dunk contest. Blake Griffin, you know, you look at guys like
did
that.
Aaron Gordon.
I'm sorry. I don't think he win it. He didn't win it, but
I think that guy in
dude,
Chicago won it
dude
twice
jumped
against him.
but I'm sorry, but he did well enough to make me think he did.
He was excellent.
You know what I'm saying?
That was back when one of the dunk contests were really good.
He did well enough to make me think he did.
Yeah.
And, like the kind of the Mandela effect kind of thing. Like,
yeah, no, completely.
You have to be good enough though to kind of get in that But now, if you look at his game, he's become much more of a versatile kind of four.
Can pop out and shoot a three.
Same thing with Griffin. Griffin's shooting threes now.
That was the strangest looking thing the first time I saw that. But yes, but the strangest looking thing the first time I saw it.
Mad respect for those guys. And now Griffin's at fucking Boston. Holy crap.
That was the weirdest. I saw him come in and I just looked like, wait, when did that happen?
Yeah, exactly. While you were in freaking Europe is when it happened.
Yeah, I was like, when did Blake Griffin get to Boston? Wasn't he on the Nets?
He was on the Nets.
When was the last time he was really relevant?
I'll tell you what. He actually played really well for the Nets, and where he really got my respect is when he showed up for Detroit. Because that's where he actually started to show that he could be a stretch four and still be someone who could drive out from the perimeter to the basket, and then also be more of a more of a positional team player in general. But again, especially being able to develop that 3-point shot, to put that time in when that wasn't your thing. But again, Aaron Gordon's another one of those guys. But to your point, you're right. Aaron Gordon, you can put Aaron Gordon and DeAndre Jordan together, and you're still not going to have the unicorn that is the Joker.
No.
So, no. And that's the problem that you have. That's just the problem. But by having somebody that unique, it's like trying to find somebody to replace Dirk when Dirk was playing.
Sure.
Nowadays, you can find somebody, but when Dirk was playing, taking him off the bench, it was like they had to completely shift the way they played.
Yeah, it was. You went from we have something really special to we just play basketball. This is standard. Everybody knows the drill. Center, you go here. Power forward, you go here. It's not
right. And it's even not talking about skill here.
No.
Or ability here, but when you talk about X's and O's, it's even different than putting Jordan on the bench.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
It's a completely, because obviously if you're going to come in, especially in the 90s, positions were much more hard set. So the guy you're going to be putting in at shooting guards going to be nowhere near as good as Jordan.
Yeah,
but X's and O's wise, he's gonna be doing the same things,
the same spots,
roughly, right? So you might switch who's gonna be the primary scorer or that kind of thing, but especially in the triangle, that worked out very well. But if you take a guy like the Joker out of the game, then that's a big thing. And so that's where I'm almost maybe Like, is
But
it?
doesn't that make them? But that gives them that special element too.
They can
If everybody
switch up
is sort of like
the
if
game.
everybody's equal, except when this guy's in, we're special. I'm not so sure. This is everybody. If everybody clicks,
Right.
I mean, that's
right.
a lot.
And that's more my concern. That's more my concern.
Everyone clicks. Like, you're never expecting Michael Porter to be a lockdown defender. Like, if you're a Denver fan and you're going, if Michael Porter really can play some great defense really be okay, no, that's not realistic. So, but if Michael Porter can get you 15 to 20 and legitimately get you 20 regularly, okay. Aaron Gordon, if you can get, honestly, Aaron Gordon, he had a double-double in this last game.
Yeah, Gordon's a baller. Gordon's a flat-out baller.
But you don't call plays for him, I don't think.
No. It's reactionary. He's one of those. He's garbage time. He's those guys. He's one of those guys that can
things
get.
Like that.
Yeah, he can get his shit. He can get offensive tip-ins. He can come in but like, I love guys like that. I love guys that can come.
You gotta have those around your stars.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta have those around your real stars.
He's a good fill in the gaps kind of player, and I think, and especially the fact that, and again, when I look at players and I look how they've evolved through the years, and I look at it, I give a lot of respect for Aaron Gordon. Even when he's in his Orlando days, I gave a lot of respect for him because he really started to, like, okay, at some point he woke up and then started to shift what he was doing, and then started to go. I'm sorry, when he left Orlando. Anyway, now that he's over here playing in Denver, he's been somebody that has shown that he's willing to do what it takes to be a team player and be the guys like, I can be a strong opponent of a championship team and be able to look back and say, hey, guess what? They wouldn't have gotten it done without me.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not going to show up. It's not necessarily going to show up on the stat sheets. But you know what? I know deep down that they weren't going to get there without me, and that's shit you can put your hat on. And,
well, yeah, because I mean, in this game, they ended up losing, so they lost to Utah. But he had 22 and 10. Like, that's pretty strong.
Damn right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But also, you got to
kind
of also look at the way he got that double-double, right? It's a lot of it probably kind of comes down to a lot of that kind of just that what they call like the blue collar player kind of stuff, you know?
It's all the stuff Jamal Murray and Joker took the shot, missed, and he got the cleanup.
Damn right.
Which you got to have. I mean, that's
damn right.
It's great to have
that's
that.
the thing is, like, look at like and they go back to like 2K and stuff like that. Because I wish the NBA, like, during the games would report things a little bit more like this, because if you play 2K, they will tell you about the offensive rebounds and the points off of more than you get off of like your typical NBA broadcast. I wish that they would do that more, because then that would reflect the work that
guys like
that they did.
Done.
Also, it would be incredible, because this is kind of, again, is the coaching mind in me, but like to reflect the shooting percentage differential. So if I have a guy who's like, his role, he's let's say I've got a 3-and-D guy.
Sure.
You know, okay, great. The 3-point percentage is easy. That'll be easy to grab. You know, you can get that shit like 20 minutes after the game ended. You know, if that long. But give me the shooting, and it takes time. But overall, let's say it's the first game of the season. Give me the shooting percentage of the guy that he was guarding, and maybe like his general impact of his presence in front of those players, and did their shooting percentage drop, right? Because that is even more telling for guys, especially like you're saying, if you have a 3-and-D guy, they're looking at, oh, he's a 3-and-D guy, but the only stat you have to work off of is his 3-point shots, and maybe he's not necessarily taking that many, but it's like, hey, you know what? I'm not necessarily, he's there to make the shot when it goes to him, but it may not necessarily go to him very much, because really the reason why he's out there is to be a freaking problem for the other team's perimeter star scorer, you know?
Completely.
Make their job harder, really. And that's where it's like defense is so hard to quantify, and it's a shame because so many workhorses that have just been out there just doing the work and just making, you know.
All of those stats and things like that don't get brought to the forefront either. And they don't get paid for it. Like I won't forget oh shoot, I forgot his name, but I won't forget his statement. He played for Chicago. He was from Chicago, played for the Bulls 1 year. He got drafted by the Bucks, like number 2 overall. I keep blanking on it. Not Michael Carter. No. This is recent. Recent being the last 20 years. He got drafted. Drafted by the Bucks, number 2 overall. He's from Chicago. Daggone, if I wasn't thinking about it, he was like an undersized power forward.
Okay.
He was a small forward, power forward. So you got a Duke. Man, I can see his face is plain as day, but I can't think of his name. Anyhow, his famous line when he got to Chicago was that he was like, well, you don't get paid to play defense. That's sort of true. And you don't get not paid. Like, you know, LeBron doesn't get paid to play defense.
But at the same time,
he plays but he doesn't get paid to play it.
Right.
Like guys that are getting all if you can average 18, you're gonna get a bigger paycheck than a guy who can average 12 but also give you.
I think especially now as more of the kind of the advanced analytics are starting to come into play, you start to see, because you start to hear more about that 3-and-D. Like, when did 3-and-D become part of the general vernacular in the NBA, right? Sure, and I think that's a big thing about it, because you know you have some people that are 3-point shooters, but then who are the
Parker.
people?
That's who it was.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, but now that guy was a bit of a lump.
Yeah. Talent.
He's a bit of a lump.
His statement had some truth to it.
You're right. Yeah, what he said was true.
Yeah.
Now, what he should have done was gone out and proved it.
Yeah.
Right? And then been a solid... Like, he had the athleticism and all the potential to be a legitimate...
Initially. I don't think by the end he did.
No. But also, I think... But again...
Yeah.
But again, I think... But again, I think some of that might have also come down to work ethic. I don't think
that's exactly what it was. That was exactly what it was. I was going to straight up tell you, it was work ethic.
It's
I think the knee injuries can happen to anybody. I'm not
absolutely 100%. But I think some of it too. Now there's knee injuries and there's knee injuries. There's knee injuries because you take a bad fall or get a bad hit or whatever, and then there's knee injuries because you're not taking care of your body.
You haven't been working out.
You're not been working out, and you're going out there against professional athletes, and your talent isn't getting you as far as you thought it would. And then, Jabari Parker kind of falls into that vein for me. Again,
Right.
unfortunate because he came with all the talent in the world. He could have been a bear, especially when he came in. He really could have been on a kind of the forefront of kind of some of that revolution in terms of that power forward position, especially in terms of what you could do. And I think it's probably why he got drafted as high as he did. But I think that it's a matter of just you gotta be able to put the work in. It doesn't matter what you're doing, no matter what your talent base is. It's if you look like the Redeem Team kind of thing,
right?
There were like the guys like Carmelo Anthony, like Dwayne Wade and all like that. When they first get out there, they were hitting up the clubs and all that stuff. And they're getting back out there. It's like 5:30 a.m. Kobe's in his workout gear.
He's like,
I'm gonna go.
I've been here.
He's like, I'm getting ready to go. They're just getting back to the hotel. Kobe's just waking up, and he's like, I'm gonna go work out.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not losing this.
And then that mentality. Guess what? It like next thing you know, everybody's up with Kobe.
See what he means now. And
it's like no, because again, he's like Kobe's mindset is like, oh, this ain't happening again. This is not
drag all you jokers.
No. That whole losing,
you fools to a gold medal. We're gonna have it.
That whole losing shit. That whole losing shit that happened last time. No, not on my watch. No, son. No. And again, this is why I talk about, if you want to people talk about comparisons, the only other comparison to Jordan is Kobe.
It has to be the carbon copy. I mean, it was
but
the,
I think
it was the copy that goes to the next level. Depending on your perspective.
I mean, you don't like, again, I have a hard time making, because you can talk about like how like one player is better than others in different respects. Okay, great, but like kind of like what metric we're really kind of talking about. But if you really want to talk about someone that literally picked up the torch from Jordan, even though he didn't pass it off, Kobe's like, oh no, I'm taking this motherfucker. This is mine. This is mine now. I'm on it. Because it's that work ethic. Yeah. It's just that workout, that dedication, just saying, no, this is mine. I'm getting mine. None of y'all stopping me. I'm doing this. And if you're not going for the ride, man, listen, we're gonna have a problem.
Mamba mentality was a phrase coined by Kobe. But it was Jordan before that.
No. I know. It's no. I mean, like, no.
And before him, it was someone else. Like it wasn't like brand new, but that mentality.
Yeah. Bird had it in his own way. Magic had it in his own way. Dr. J had it in his own way. Bill Russell. Bill Russell.
Star type.
Bill Russell definitely had it in his own way.
He had to have it in a different way from everyone.
Yeah, a bazillion different ways from everybody else in the sport. Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude.
He was a black dude playing in Boston. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And then became a freaking player coach.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna speak to like what he did, but getting back to today. Getting back to today.
So the Nuggets.
Joker's again. The Joker's one of those double-edged swords, because you can't replace what he does with one person.
When he comes out,
you have to then, and I don't know if that's necessarily an issue if you build your second team right. Because you can mix it up. You can mix it up. You could then in turn come in with a completely different scheme, a completely different offense, a completely different way of running basketball. So like you can just sit there and just pound them like Joker's gonna get a shitload of minutes. That's the way he plays, that's the way he likes to play. He's already gone on record that he feels like he plays better. He plays better. Having
he's out
longer out there to just kind of warm up and kind of get his feel and just get everything going. Especially offensively for shooting, especially he feels much better being out there longer and getting the feel for the pace of the game and things like that. Something he speaks of like the pace of an individual game,
right?
Like, and there's people and you hear people that talk like that, and then you realize it's like, okay, they have a different perspective on the game, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
He talks about things like a point guard would, right?
Yeah.
He talks about pace of the game, how things are flowing, the transition timing of the other team, that just different things like that. He talks like that as a center,
which is why he's a different cat. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, completely.
So he's gonna play, but like he's gonna play a lot of minutes. But then like you gotta kind of the double edge is then figuring out what to do when he's not there, and then it can give you an opportunity to then in turn mix up and completely do a paradigm shift against your opposing team, which can be, if done effectively, can be very jarring,
disorienting a bit,
and disorienting. And so if it's done right and you got the right pieces in place, then yeah, I mean, if you have a guy like, see, I wish like this would have been great for like a DeAndre Jordan like 6 years ago
when he was still that. Yeah.
When he was still that dude, because then it's like, oh great, okay, oh we've gotten used to Joker. He's doing all this stuff, and
now
it's
here
like,
comes this super athletic who just wants to dunk guy.
Whoa, crap!
Yeah.
Where are all
That's
these lob dunks coming from?
Right.
Because that wasn't happening before.
Oh crap! Now we're extended the defense.
Now we got to crash. Yeah. So that's my take on Denver right now. I'm really wanting to see how
everybody
deep
that we
they
mentioned. What we need to do at the end of each, like when we go through, we'll go through all the teams eventually. It won't be tonight, but we'll go through each one. So Nuggets, contender, pretender,
Western Conference final contender.
Western Conference final contender. All right.
But I question how deep they truly are.
I agree. I can see that.
That's my caveat there. But
I think
as everyone healthy and things clicking.
I was gonna say it's hard. I mean, you got to go with health as always. Everybody healthy. Knock on wood. Everybody rolls out there. Could I see them coming out of the West? I'll be honest. I could, because they're just.
Well, that's the other thing about that. That's the thing about the West right now too. That's the other issue. I'm kind of thinking about the team like in and of itself. But the West right now is kind of weird.
Which is odd. It's been a long time since the East was better.
Yeah, it has been.
The East is better.
It has been. But the East is better.
The East has had the better team a lot of times. Like, I mean, if you go back in the 90s,
but as far as like overall
Bulls,
depth,
it was. I mean,
but that's where the West.
9, 10 teams
that's where the West. Easy. That's where the West has kind of come in and been probably a bit more like they've had the legs on them because they've had more time playing against the harder teams.
Sure.
They've had like, I'm sorry, but the Utah Jazz and the Portland Trail Blazers have been kind of those gatekeeper teams. They're like teams that have had to keep other teams honest. Like, you've had to play against them. No, they're not going to get deep into the playoffs, but guess what? If you're sleeping even a second, you're going to get a loss against them. And then
all of a sudden you're
that
down
kind of thing.
3 games to 2 and need to win 2 on the road to win for the playoffs. Yeah.
And then it's like on the East, like who you playing? Like, okay, like okay, like even like during the season, like you're looking at like New York, Orlando, like freaking
Orlando could be pretty good
like,
this year.
well,
Not, like,
I'm talking previously.
Oh yeah. Oh, you had all kinds of whole games.
But like, don't like Pablo's a problem. Pablo's a problem.
They could be.
He's a problem, and they've got length. They've got length.
Well, remember, Isaac,
we're talking. Yeah.
Oh shoot, what's his name?
Stewart. Isaiah Stewart.
No.
He's on Pistons right now, I think.
Yeah, he's on the Pistons. I gotta look it up. He's coming back. He's been hurt. He was hurt all last year. But I forgot it. I blanked on his name.
Nah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Isaiahs.
I remember
right now.
Isaac, it's not Isaac. I want to keep saying Okoro. It's not Okoro.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know you're talking
nothing
about.
Nothing but arms and legs.
Yeah. He's all limbs. He's all limbs. He's like a he can wrap his arms around.
That's what it is.
Go ahead.
Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could wrap his arms around a sequoia and clench his fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that dude he was injured all last season. So he's back. That team could be, and by the way, they have Jalen Suggs. Pablo. Like, Franz Wagner.
They got both Wagners.
That's right, they have both of them. And that dude that played in Chicago and tripped over his feet because the lane tripped him. What's his name?
Doing
Golly gosh darn it.
Wendell Carter.
I forgot his name.
Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. He's actually been doing much better since he's been in Orlando.
Yeah, I think it sometimes it's just time. You just gotta.
He is not going to be a linchpin person on any team.
You know what? Do you know what else helped him when he went to Orlando? It's gonna be this is easily the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Well, not ever heard of, but it was stupid. He put on glasses. Literally.
Yeah.
He couldn't see.
Got over that ego and just and if you think about some of the Shaq and the Fool reels that Fool put together, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Ask Horace Grant.
It still doesn't make sense why he tripped in the lane when he was the only one there. But
if you think about as someone who's nearsighted, I can tell you, especially when they didn't want to play basketball with their glasses on and couldn't afford to get the prescription goggles and shit. Mm-hmm. I can tell you that there are just moments where because your depth perception is fucked up, you're putting your foot down in a certain place, and then you quickly realize that
it's not the right spot.
That is nowhere near the right spot, and then you have to kind of make some janky adjustment, then it kind of just depends on just
everything.
Yeah. I think that, but
also he said he was gone. It was so nice.
Like Horace Grant was one of the first ones who says is that I had to eat my pride. He's like, he had a trainer, he had a trainer basically come along and says, and he had never even had glasses in school.
Yeah.
And then basically it was I had a trainer who's like, hey, we can we need to check you out because yeah, you've got all the talent in the world, but something's I think you're nearsighted. And so basically come in saying, hey, look, let's try out some things here. Let's get you checked out, because he didn't come from a family who was able to get him glasses anyway. And then basically they were able to set him up with so basically he was able to, and basically we say he felt better playing in goggles.
And glasses
then,
or contacts.
Well, he wouldn't have the glasses anyway, but like, yeah, the contacts. He didn't feel comfortable playing in contacts.
He could have gone Kurt Rambis.
Well, he kind of did with the things,
Yeah.
But again, it also kind of made him like a signature look just out there on the floor. Like everybody knew. Like he had shit. Like people had like signs with the that looked like the goggles. Like just maybe go
the first guy that I really remember with the goggles was Kareem. Kareem was the one that I really remember.
Yeah, like the swimmer, almost like the swimmer goggles.
Yeah, them jokers were massive. Yeah.
So I mean. Like he but like Ho Grant had to kind of swallow his pride a little bit, and like he said, like I became a zillion times better because of it. So if this works out for Wendell and it's like he can be like a solid, the ceiling isn't super high for him anyway, but if he can be a solid anchor type player for the Orlando Magic right now, why not? But again, I think overall I think he's just done better there. I think that
he needs to get out of Chicago. I mean, he needs to get out of Chicago for his own well-being. Sometimes it's just time.
He wasn't a good fit. He wasn't a good fit. They needed
they
somebody.
had him playing out of position. There was a lot of stuff that went wrong with him, because I actually, as much as I act like I don't like him, I actually did I liked Wendell. I really hoped he would work out. I always thought he was always out of position, so he was always playing center. He's really power forward.
Sure.
So that off the top, he was always a little bit out of position. The reason he was out of position because they had this other dude named Larry Markkinen who's a bum. So they had him, and he was going to be their power forward of the future, and he was terrible. So,
I think
everybody was out of position. They had a terrible front office. I mean, otherworldly terrible front office. Coaching was a joke. Like everything that could go wrong was going wrong. So you put all that in with a young player that is also can't see.
I think the problem wasn't so because he's technically playing center in Orlando too, but I think in Chicago when they were putting him in there, I think they were kind of more looking to him to play more of a traditional center, which was one, putting him out of position, but then in turn also really not the right play for the way the league was evolving.
Well,
because
of course, I mean, the coaching in front office.
Now he's playing more of a hybrid center in Orlando, where he can be kind of more move around a lot more and can do different things. He's not gonna be as versatile of a power forward as like a name like an Aaron Gordon or a more of a traditional small forward attacking the basket plus shooting plus a bunch of other things, say like a Jason Tatum. That's not his strength. That's not what he's going to do either. So you have to kind of, but so now they have him playing the 5, but the system works him a little bit better. He's able to maneuver in position better, and they're able to kind of get him good shots where then he can then, I mean, if you want to look for a poster child of being horribly positioned and horribly misused as far as a system goes, look at Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins, 100%. Just look at the percentages of pick and roll ball handler that they had him doing
Right.
versus like wing isolation, cutter, spot up, those kinds of things in Minnesota versus how they're using him in Golden State. Now, granted, he doesn't have to be the primary scorer there, which has then also opened him up to be more focused on defense. But then also, because he's been more focused on defense, it's also giving him much more fast break opportunities, which is then also worked into his skill set. So they've been able to figure out, like, they saw something. It's like, okay, like, they're just using this guy wrong.
Yeah.
They're just completely not. They're trying to fit him in, like, oh, he's a star. Okay. Well, then he should be able to do whatever we need him to do. Well, no, not necessarily. Because
sometimes you're a star just in a certain area here.
way. And maybe he's not necessarily a star in the first place. Maybe he's an incredible third option offensively and also an incredible asset defensively to help Draymond out. And then, which then also helps Draymond. I'm working to a transition here, but also then in turn helps with Draymond in terms of that's where like the Iguodala spot really, be able to help out on the perimeter defensively to help. And then with Clay, because Clay's a solid 3-and-D guy. You talk about 3-and-D guys. Clay's a solid 3-and-D guy, especially when he's healthy. To be able to help shadow some of Curry's, efficiencies defensively.
Sure. Right.
Which he makes up more in spades on offense. So you better build a team that can help him out defensively, But let's talk about Draymond.
Going there?
we kind of started to talk about. We need to talk about him. We need to talk about Draymond. I figured this might as well. It's a good transition to it. We got to talk about Draymond. Let me start this off with let me just preface this conversation with the fact that historically speaking, at least, and especially as far as guy on the court and everything else, I love me some Draymond Green. I love me some Draymond Green. I love just that roughneck, blue collar. I'm gonna do everything nobody else is gonna do. Oh, by the way, I'm a pretty goddamn good playmaker. Oh, also, hey, guess what? I can shoot a 3 every now and then, but I'm gonna be the guy that's gonna be rough up in the face of anybody that's gonna go up against this team, grab rebounds, make passes, whatever you need me to do. I love me some Draymond Green. Just in terms of just a player on the court, I would take a player like that, number one, like first pick, and then work a team around that, because a guy like that on the court is going to make everybody better. But
yes.
But
yes.
Draymond done shown his ass here. Just I can't like I'm trying to like figure out like first of all like the whole thing, like, okay, you know what, like, okay, it's a practice, like shit's getting heated. Draymond's kind of like the overall enforcer of the team. He's held that role for a long time, and then it's like, okay, maybe like you got some kind of younger guy coming in, spouting off some shit. Like, I'm talking about maybe he said something about Seth. Maybe he like spouted off some shit that like really like he's like like I'm talking about Jordan Poole here. Let me. If you haven't heard about this, I don't know why you're watching a basketball stream, but Draymond Green just like straight like haymaker sucker punched Jordan Poole. Like just
they're in practice. When you're in practice, stuff gets heated. I mean, it's what it is. So the Bulls had this few years back, Bobby Portis, and
Jordan punched Kerr.
Oh yeah, way back. Yeah, no, but more recently, the Bobby Portis got suspended actually when Mirotic was the one that was the aggressor and everything like that. So,
yeah.
These fights happen.
Yeah.
And Draymond, so there's talking, and Jordan Poole kind of went off to the side, and Draymond like rolls up, and he rolls up to Jordan Poole, and you barking at each other, and you go running up, and he got up in his face, and Jordan Poole just he pushed him out of his face because he was close. And as soon as he pushes him, Draymond just cocks back and haymaker.
The dude's knuckles scratch Saturn.
I mean, it was
way up.
He did the haymaker.
Yeah,
like hockey fights would be proud to have some of these punches.
Yeah,
and I mean, he just absolutely drops Jordan Poole just straight up in the face.
Which I mean, you sucker punch somebody like that, and especially Jordan Poole being a smaller guy.
You've been in practice before. You know where you want to fight, and it's not. But you may punch each other like that. That's not the part. It's the way the punch.
Yeah, it's
a different kind of punch.
Nuances.
Brothers
to
fight
this.
each other, and there's fists and punches thrown.
Yeah,
but there's never like I'm trying to reach the back of your head through your face.
Right.
Punch.
Right. Yeah. This was a
out of the blue cold cock.
Yeah.
As sucker punch. That's what you don't do that. This is the punch that you throw when you don't know the person.
Right.
And they've taken your money or they're near your kid. Like that's the punch.
What we were talking about
throwing.
Before, I was saying like he punched Jordan Poole like he just lost a major bet in Vegas and found out the guy who won it. And
yeah,
I don't know him. But he took pissed my money. Off as all hell. Yeah. Like
and it's that kind of a punch. And it's probably a good thing that they didn't have video cameras back in the day for Jordan when Jordan was in practice, or the 80s and stuff like that. But since we don't have those things, one of the worst punches we've seen. The worst punch in NBA history was probably the one for Rudy Tomjanovich. You remember the super old like 60s. So anybody that says, like the NBA, it's athletes now. No, you want to talk about some punches? Go way back. These dudes tried to kill each other, and I mean legitimately tried to kill each other. The difference being, huge difference here. One, that was during a game, not practice. A game.
I'm about practice.
Yeah, no. I'm not talking about practice. I'm talking about in a game, an actual NBA game. That's a punch. And they were on opposite teams.
Right.
This was practice. Preseason practice, I might add. We aren't even in the regular season. Preseason practice. You have nothing to be upset about.
Let me clarify again, especially kind of like that in-game versus out-of-game kind of thing, right? I played varsity basketball, right? Now, let's clarify. I had no business playing varsity basketball.
You were a football player.
I was there. The only reason why I was there was one, because the head basketball coach was also our head defense coach on football. I was there for a very particular reason. to use my
Yeah,
six
particular
fouls
skill.
to use my 6 fouls effectively. Basically, not well. It could be spread out. It just basically would kind of come in, but effectively, what would happen was especially some of our smaller guards. And again, this was during the '90s, so it was a rougher version of basketball than is now. And so like our smaller guards go in, and then you might see some of like their power forwards or centers or whatever, they might get a little too rough with them, right? My job was to assuage them of the mentality that they were the toughest MFer on the floor. Let's put that delusion aside here. And if you proceed to pound my guards like you are, you're gonna regret it. I've got 6 fouls. I don't mind using them.
I plan on using them all.
I will foul out of this game. I'm going to foul out of this game.
Yeah.
It's just a question of whether you're going to be the one getting the brunt of those 6 fouls. Okay? And hey, you know what? That's 6 fouls. There's a lot of shit I can do to get 1 foul.
Yeah.
So that was my job. And again, this is why I got a soft spot for guys like Draymond. But again, like that's the other thing too, is like we don't really quite have with everything that's going on, we still don't really quite have a good grasp of what was happening there, what was said, what was going on. And it's kind of like okay, did Jordan Poole say something stupid about
Draymond, your mama
like,
looks funny,
or like I could even see more from Draymond's side, something about say like Steph, or like I can, because like you know me, I'm kind of more like kind of that protector mindset to a fault. Like I can see I could see Draymond taking more like heat, like feel more
because
heated.
Of something for Steph,
or Clay. Then,
but here's the catch though. If this was a one-off incident, and we had never heard anything remotely like this about Draymond specifically before, I might be able to side with you. Because anything you don't know.
I'm only setting a stage here.
No, I know. I mean, side with that phrase, that I guess. Not you particularly. Yeah. But this isn't a first time for Draymond. This is the first time we got to see the video. Right. Yeah. And as I said, and there's something to be said about that too. I'll mention this, and we won't segue yet. But I do want to ask, and be thinking about this for everybody out there that's listening as well. Mm-hmm. Who is worse, or who is to be trusted least? Draymond, hothead, bad teammate, punching his teammates, got caught punching his teammate straight up in the face. That guy. Or the person that leaked the video. Right. Because I saw the video. You saw the video. Yep. Millions of other people saw the video. Yeah. It was practice. It was not a game. It was internal. It was Allen Iverson. Not a game.
That's talking about games.
We're talking about practice.
But which should also be like very controlled. Very like you get this is where you kind of get the other side of it, where you get the shots that like somebody we saw this thing with Ben Simmons where he was like making threes and stuff like that, because it was very controlled.
Videos. Yeah,
it was very controlled, but like you didn't see what they didn't want you to see.
No.
And to be fair, that's for a reason. Because you need to let guys have the space to go out and practice and develop. You got new people every single year. You have new people coming in and people that were there, not there anymore. So you have to develop chemistry. You have to figure out a game plan. You have to work together, fight, like play against each other.
And here's a thought. Maybe we shouldn't have every play that we're running and trying to work on televised for the whole world to see.
Damn right, dude. Damn right. Damn right. No, because that's a part of it. Like, yeah, we don't need. We want to be able to develop our system, figure out our sets, talk about, say, oh, I don't know, Giannis. Let's talk about, oh, I don't know, KD and how he's been playing recently and figure out how to counter against that. You need to be able to talk about those things. You need to be able to...
And to point out the weaknesses of your teammates.
Absolutely.
Or a play.
Hey, we don't...
Look, we're coming in... You can't come off like this because if you come off here, then that's going to open a gap. And if a guy shoots through here, then that blows up our play.
But if, we need to have...
Where you're a little, you got to come off tight around this screen. You need to come really tight around it. Don't come off kind of, you know, making a wide turn. No, you need to come off real tight and cut across, because here's that. If this guy comes here, well, you just told the defense how to play it.
Or if you're coming in like a lot of stuff, you talk about like weaknesses. Well, one of like a key weaknesses is on that kind of that defensive switch. So if you're coming in like on a smaller guy, then you need to be able to position. Okay, he's gonna get locked out on this pin here. Okay, so I need you kind of as this wing player to then make sure that you catch when that, say, smaller guard, Steph, is caught up on a hard pin on a screen. Then I need you to be able to position over here, because he's not going to be able to recover in time. So I need you to be able to maneuver. You're not even over by that pick and roll play out, but especially how they do high pick and rolls now. And like the multi-screen switching, then you need everybody to be able to be very, very clear in how they position. If you have a smaller guard, especially if they're not defensively minded or defensively focused, be different if you're talking about, say, like a Pat Bev in his prime, okay, or even like a Marcus Smart now, a different conversation. But again, you got to find out. But even like, Marcus Smart's a hell of a defensive player. You tell me he has no goddamn weaknesses? Fuck you. Goddamn right he does. And if you're if you play, and this is why it's team basketball, team defense. This is where you can start to figure out and like talk about like defensive players of the year. One of the things they always talk about year after year after year after year is their ability to play team defense. And this is where Marcus Smart won it last year. Because he was able to come in and be able, again, to talk about team defense and be able to account for and watch out for his people on the floor, on his team especially, and say, hey, this is what's going on. And this is where Draymond steps up, and it's great. But again, you got to be able to have that privacy to be able to talk through those things through practice. Because especially right now, you're trying to get team cohesiveness. But once you start getting through the season, then you're prepping for individual teams.
Right.
You're going through practice and you're talking about individual teams and starting to say, like, this is our game plan against that. And that's just bad. Just horrible. Like, I hope that whoever the hell that is, I hope he never gets inside another NBA practice or even college practice ever again. Because that's just, you showed the punch. Yeah, you showed that punch. Okay, fine. Maybe you didn't leak any of the other stuff. But man, dude, look, you leaked inside shit. That's shit that happened, and that's shit that the team should have handled. And then you made it public. It was like it's like the old Ron White joke. He was like he's saying it's like he's going, he kind of got a little rowdy in the bar and everything. He like turns around and he's like, all right. He's now, look, I'm somewhere between 6'3" and 6'4", depending on which convenience store I'm walking out of. And I'm not going to sit here and say how many could whoop my ass. But I can tell you exactly how many they were going to use. And they tossed my ass out of the bar. Now, I got arrested for being drunk in public. Drunk in public. Here's the problem. I was drunk in private. They're the ones that tossed me out to the public.
The public. That was not me. That was them.
So, like, if I was Draymond, it was like, this is a private situation. Like, I'm not condoning what he did. I'm not condoning what he did. But depending on the circumstances, I could see myself doing it. Maybe not like he did it. Not that way. Right? Again, that's the thing. Not like that's a bad look. That's a like I'm like how like get me pissed off enough, and I'm gonna throw a punch at one of my boys. I'm not gonna throw a punch like that. I'm not coming in like that. That's not how that's happening. Like
exceptionally bad.
That's not how that's going down. But again, like, honestly, you and I shouldn't even know that much.
No.
Really, no. At the end of the day, again,
we should be talking about this figment of our imagination, because that's what we should have.
Not condoning what he did, but we shouldn't even know that much. We shouldn't even see it. Bottom line, that should never come out. Never come out. And that's the whole reason, but the trust between the teams and the media, and how like this dance that has to be played around the how much you share with the public, because you have your fan base, you have the media driving a lot. They're the ones helping really driving the money engine. Okay, fair enough, but still, this is something, regardless of how egregious Draymond Green's actions were, and I am saying that they were egregious. We should never see it. We should not be the ones seeing that, and we should not be able to talk about it at that level. A couple of fucking fuck all YouTubers talking about basketball. We should never be able to see this.
It was really bad. Just on a lot of levels.
But see, did you see the video Draymond came out with talking about this?
Oh. I saw the video that well, it wasn't a video per se. It was where he was apologizing for it.
It was a very, very interesting take on it. And see, here's the thing, right? For all of the reasons why I have kind of this gut instinct to side with Draymond Green here, that video obliterated all of it.
Yes. at first you're like, oh, Jordan Poole, he's making him tougher and stuff like that, until you see it and you're like, never mind.
Because even with the video that we saw of the punch, right? It's like, again, what if? Okay, fine, that's out there. If now, one, I'd be perfectly content with them saying we're going to be dealing with this internally. Da 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 da. I can't make fault of that. Of course you would. Jordan Poole, the victim here, has not said shit. That dude right there is the star of the whole freaking thing. That guy has been a professional, hasn't said shit. We're going to talk about this internally. We're going to deal with all this stuff, and I'm going to play basketball. And he's been like, I've like Jordan Poole, so, props, no problems, whatever. Draymond Green comes out with this video, involves his kids, and him getting up and oh man, yeah, the look on your face right there is him getting up early to work out and all this stuff and somehow, some way in there is some form of an apology or some kind of an explanation, but it's lost in all this overproduced, just fake ass bullshit. And I'm like, okay, so I'm I
gotta tell you, I think that your example talking about Draymond was the guy that lost in Vegas and Jordan Poole won. Yeah, I don't think it was in Vegas.
I think it was an NBA contract.
I think it was in Golden State. I think it was in Golden State, man. So Jordan Poole, a week or so after this, signed a 4-year, $140 million contract to play for the Warriors.
Dude's been balling. Dude's been balling.
Is it 4-time champ? Is it 4 or 5? 4, right? Draymond and Clay and Steph.
At least four, if not 5. I think it's 4. I think it's 4.
I think it's 4. So the 4-time, and if I'm missing one, I apologize. The 4-time champ, heart of the team, not best player, but heart of the team, through all of them, all of their titles. That guy, yeah, he could be a free agent this offseason. He has a way he can opt into the contract, but he could be a free agent this offseason. They've never re-upped him. They've never tried to give him that money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, didn't Jordan Poole sort of come in and take possibly what Draymond Green views as his money?
I didn't pull that Vegas money thing out of my ass.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It definitely has to have something to do with it.
It pissed me off. This rook,
again.
I mean, not rookie,
especially if you're imagine
one good series.
Yeah. Imagine being somebody like Draymond, who not only has been with the team, but has been the 100%, no doubt about it, workhorse of the team.
Yeah.
And you know what? Again, I think
part of the engine.
And he would have no problem saying, you know what, Steph, Clay, KD, when he was in here, making more money than me. Hey, you know what?
I don't know about KD. He might have had a problem with him because they can win it without him. So
well, but again, I think Draymond. I hope that Draymond has enough sense.
I like
to be
how
able
you
to
changed that.
Say
I think Well, I hope he does.
I hope he has enough sense to look at a player like Kevin Durant. Now, also, let's look at the fact that Draymond was part of the 4 that made up the Hampton 5 that went out to the Hamptons to talk to Kevin Durant. It's the reason why the death lineup was also referred to as the Hampton 5, because they went out to the Hamptons to meet with KD to talk to him. And it was Steph, Clay, Andre Iguodala, Draymond who went out to talk to KD. He was part of that. He was part of that. So I'm sorry, but you got a fucking problem with, like, guess what, brother? I got no tears. Like, I got nothing for you, you know? But now, again, also, who the fuck is Jordan Poole?
That's my point.
Who the is Jordan Poole? I only got so many. I got so many of them. I'm dropping them sparingly. But
yeah, it was
like,
good job.
Like
Jordan Poole had 2 good series. 1, he had a good finals.
He's a good player, but again,
No, if I'm Draymond,
yeah,
it can't be coincidence.
No,
it can't be coincidence.
No.
That Draymond's issue was with some.
And
young
again,
dude
I bet Jordan said something.
I'm not so sure he needed to.
I think that, and what I mean by that is, it was a matter of time. I think that Jordan said something that gave Draymond in his own head an acceptable trigger. I don't know what that is, and it probably didn't have to be much. I don't know, and that's not fair. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for the intricacies of Draymond's mind, and I don't want to fall into the trap of oversimplifying the context here, right? Because we're talking about a human being. We're talking about someone that's like going on like through some shit. We don't know exactly what was going on through his head. But again, for folks who haven't watch Draymond's video after the fact. Also, understanding that Jordan Poole, who is the victim here, has been 100%. We're going to handle this internally. I am not going to say a damn thing about anything, because guess what, people? It's none of your business, which is exactly what he should do. And then we got Draymond over here coming in.
It is what he should do. But it is amazing. It is amazing how easy it becomes to do what you're supposed to do when someone's saying, I have $140 million.
When you're getting paid. I get it. I get it. He has more to gamble.
Bro.
Now that's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Next week I'm gonna give you $140 million. You know how quiet I become? I don't care what happened. I became
I'd be kicking back like a well-paid mob witness. I mean, just you ain't getting shit out of me.
What do you think of? What do you think of the punch? What punch? What?
But again, here's the thing. I get it. That's kind of that's
within
the
a week, 2 weeks.
That's the clickbait. That's the clickbait take. I get that. I get that. But and I'm also not saying that is not the smart play from him.
Yeah.
But
like, I'm not knocking him for it. I'm just like.
But again, I also kind of want to also. Because again, biggest thing is like for folks out there, so make sure it's like, and Ian knows this. Ian's not quite like that. We go back and forth.
Yeah,
we're not trying to be the like ESPN talking heads here.
No.
Right. And so what I do want to do is then. I want to call out the fact that more than likely, I think you're right. But I want to also call out that, hey, you know what? Again, I don't know the dude. Right? So I can't speak from the perspective of knowing what Jordan Clark how he would react to this. I don't know. But to your point, if he was smart, absolutely he would keep his damn mouth shut.
Shut up, dude.
100%. Why?
Nothing in it for
if I was his PR rep, talking to him about all this stuff, like even if like heated, damn right he got heated. People go on get punched,
dude got punched in the face and then shown on national television.
Right, man. Like I'm a freaking man. I'm gonna get heated about this shit.
We're gonna have problems behind the scene.
If I was his PR rep, I was like, you don't like. I'm taking your phone.
You're not allowed to.
You're not not like Twitter, Instagram. Nothing. I don't care. Like Facebook, like none of it. You are going black, silent. You are going just absolute. Like no, like nobody. You have nothing to say, and then we are going to put together a response for you and blah 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 blah, and it sucks as the way that goes, but that's how it goes.
Yes.
And you have people, when you see like, shoot man, when you see NBA, look, okay, spot a video where you have like NBA players like to do like the whole like fashion thing, right? You have the NBA players and they're walking in like they got the drip going, right? Okay, they're working their way through. How many of them fools don't got somebody walking right behind them? They're not security. They're not taking care of that. They're not physically taking care of anybody.
No, right.
Those are like paid for, dedicated assistants to those fools. They are there to help them navigate life. And then they also have, like, the smart players have what they call PR reps that help to manage their overall like presence in the media.
Yeah.
KD could have dealt with that early on.
Yeah.
Draymond doesn't have one. Draymond has been very vocal about the fact that he does not have a PR rep 'cause he's raw.
And sure.
Now, again, you know what? There's a bit of me there that it's like, you know what? If you're consistent, if that's how you're doing shit, and it makes sense because of like all the things that I see make sense. But
There
Draymond is proven to be
remember
a punk bitch. Because
do you remember the Chappelle show when there was a skit where he did when keeping it real goes wrong? That's Draymond in a nutshell.
Right. Oh my God,
that's
right.
Draymond in a nutshell, man. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah.
Oh, this is how we're keeping the taxes in the streets. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was I'm conflating that with the P Diddy, the P Diddy real
like
world.
It real goes wrong.
The P Diddy
like
real world thing. Yeah.
And he would have different moments where because we gonna keep it real. It's this is the way we grew up, and this is the way it is, and it's like a time that cost that person hundreds of millions of dollars. It was just very.
Right, I remember
it was
the way
always
you
like
talk.
a terrible. It was always like a terrible time to keep it real.
But I remember also the P Diddy real world thing, and it's like P Diddy was trying to emulate more street kind of stuff, and he had this whole real world stuff, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, dude!" I remember because he had the one guy he had the calculator with the paper roll coming out of the back, and he's punching out. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's like, "Man, I'm doing my taxes." This is how you keep it real in the streets. And and what was so great was then he had coming into the room and then going out of the room. He had these big muscular guys carrying him in and out. He was basically laying horizontal the whole time, and then coming through. It was like, "Hey, we're trying to keep it real up in this. Trying to keep real world. We're trying to keep all this stuff." I mean, dude, his video, I'm glad you brought up Chappelle, because really, if you took that video and then just tweaked it a bit as a Chappelle show parody,
you could do it.
You could play that whole thing out, because it was dude, Draymond, dude, I fucking love you as a player, man, but dear God, that shit looked fake.
Be quiet.
Shut up.
Quiet.
Shut up.
It's really that easy. It is truly that easy. Just be quiet.
I'm trying to remember. There was this. I read a lot of books, and so I have a hard time remembering who wrote them and things. But there was one book, or it might have been an article about that I read around effectively the point was that as people get famous and successful, well, let me say successful and then maybe famous, but especially very, very, very successful, they start to build their semblance of self starts to become way over exaggerated, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, really, honestly, I think it's something that a lot of people have a general sense of when we talk about
Sure.
kind of just ego of like famous people, right?
Sure.
But they like this book actually really kind of like looked at kind of the path and of different like people that have found like strong success, but especially famous people, and then especially looking at like interviews early on versus interviews say 5 years in, 10 years in, and
Right.
especially if they're able to like garner that kind of success and start to see how it starts to progress and how it starts to, oh wait, now you got an entourage.
Yeah.
And now that you have that entourage, how are your interviews different? How are you speaking to people? How are you and like we're trying to figure out where they can try and figure out like all these different things, and what they figure out is like effectively people become autistic.
Yeah, I can see that. I know what you mean. Yeah.
People become autistic because you start to like just everything kind of starts to like the spokes build out from within you, and it's
No, for
weird
sure.
because it's kind of a fabricated iteration of it. But especially speaking of someone who is autistic, it's like, yeah, like, yeah, but the problem is like you guys use that as kind of like a way to kind of like position yourselves and kind of protect yourselves and all this shit. But for like us like regular old autistic people like live with it our whole lives. It sucks.
It's very different. It's not a catchphrase or
not,
something. Yeah,
It's not a lifestyle I would promote. But really, like they become autistic. Like they like the spoke really just completely spurns off of them. And it's really weird the way they position themselves. And Draymond is a great example of this, because he's somebody who really started out, if you look at his career, really look at it, not like shit that his media engine promotes. And if you look at how he came in, he was someone, when he first started in the league, because of the way the league was set up, he was first positioned as a small forward, but he didn't have the skill set to be a small forward. But then eventually they moved him into the power forward position, and he was able to start to grow and shine and all that shit. And then the whole thing about even moving him into the center for Hampton 5,
right.
Death lineup, whatever. But now, especially because he has like a talk show with TNT, he's got a podcast going, he's got all this other stuff going. Now he's basically putting out like this self-promoted documentary about himself with his I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, outside of this whole thing, okay, fine, yeah, you want to show how you've worked your way up because you've done the fucking work, man.
Well, yeah, exactly. You should get credit.
That in and of itself,
stupid action
boom,
shouldn't,
you know.
Yeah.
But the timing of this whole thing and putting this whole thing together and then going out and like, I'm sorry, but like right now with everything going on, we really need to see more of a take of like effectively you saying that was wrong. And no, I don't need to see you holding your kids or going out and working out. Like, I mean, hey, like, no, I'm not saying that's wrong, but that has nothing to do with what you did.
Yes.
Other than maybe trying to position yourself in a better light and getting sympathy from people.
Yeah. As
which
soon as you break out the kids, I mean, come on.
Comes out freaking tone deaf. There's no...
Every time. Each and every time.
Okay. I'm done on Draymond. I'm done on Draymond.
So I was gonna say that let's call. There's other stuff that we need to get into, but it will be 4 or 5 a.m. quickly. Otherwise,
there's
our next stream. We're not gonna do the hot take. I think we need to hold.
No, I agree. But there's one thing.
But I want that to be like its own deal.
There's something. Let's save it. Like, I'm good either Friday or Saturday. Let's save it for then. But I
Hopefully I have a new machine come Friday.
I hope nobody jumps on this, because I've got a complete take on how to position the Brooklyn Nets. And it involves...
You trying to make them have a Hampton 5 thing?
And it involves one Mr. Ben Simmons.
All right.
We'll leave it there. But we're getting into the start of the NBA season, folks.
Yes.
I think
we're gonna try to talk about
I think there's a lot to talk about here. Yeah. I think there's it's a weird timing on this because of just things we're really able to sit here and really put something together on YouTube a little bit later than we probably would have.
Sure.
But also, to be fair, how in the heck would we really have gotten any kind of sense of everything that has happened just in this past month? Like, even live, the
NBA has become, and it's not even newly become, like, it's been a while that, where it's like only during the NBA season you talk about the NBA. No. I mean, the NBA season ends in what, mid June? June 15th was always, back in the day, the Bulls always ended around the 15th. The draft is a couple of weeks after that, right at the end of June.
Yeah.
Then there's Summer League, for Summer League and free agency, the first couple of weeks of July. I mean, maybe August, mid-August.
But see, then with the preseason, like the G League and the preseason, and like some of the injuries and like just everything else, so like it's been a very, very weird.
And somebody goes and punches somebody in practice, and it's all
and then you have
again,
this. It's been, and again, like we didn't really. Another thing we need to talk about is the Lakers. And who, like, what it's like they become like the witness. They become the witness protection. I'm saying
these people.
They become the witness protection program for the NBA. Like, it's like there's some faces I recognize.
I've seen you before.
And there have been a lot of faces I don't recognize at all.
None.
And
Never seen them before.
None of them fit together.
Playing meaningful minutes too, not like at the end of a blowout. End of a blowout, sure, you get some random players in. Meaningful minutes, like midway through the second quarter in a 3-point game.
None of them fit. None of them fit as constituted.
Quite frankly, there were quite a few on the Warriors too. So I was like, who are some of these? I've never heard of these people.
But
so,
they
it's a new season.
Yeah, I
was gonna say we got a ton of new stuff.
They have some injuries kind of coming in, kind of keeping some people back. But
sure,
I think that the Lakers are very, very weird, and I think that people need to start thinking about that other LA team right now.
Yeah.
And
what? We'll get into. Maybe we'll do an LA centric video.
Well, yeah, we'll get through the hot take on the East, especially talking about Brooklyn, and then we'll definitely, if not that next time, we'll also talk about the West right now, which is, you were talking about Wild West. Yeah, this. Yeah, dummy. Yeah, this is the Wild West. This is absolutely, like, I don't even know. Right now, it is all just watch and assess and watch it happen.
And assess again in a month, because it's all going to be different.
Yeah. And then
try again.
And then wait till the trade deadline. Because it's so many, and it's so weird. It is so weird because if you really look at it, the one major player that moved from the West to the East was Donovan frickin' Mitchell.
I haven't seen the Cavs play yet. We won't get into that. We'll talk about that on the next week. Yeah,
it's so bizarre the way everything kind of played out. But if you want to talk about the one major player that moved out from the West to the East, it's Donovan Mitchell. And then somehow, some way, the East has become stupid good.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I mean, my team is in the East, and I'm looking around like, oh, well, that's not a definite.
No.
Oh, that's also not a definite win. Wait,
no. The definite wins. The definite wins in the East are few and far between right now.
Yeah. Even quote bad teams like the Orlandos or Charlottes, you're like, give it on a day. But
we're gonna continue this conversation. We'll figure this out, but there's still a lot to talk about, a lot to wrap our heads around. And I mean, good God, between now and then, there could be a whole nother kerfuffle with this whole Draymond Green thing. Hopefully not, so that we can start to really kind of
move on,
focus in and just like really start talking about basketball.
There's so much good NBA stuff.
Oh, too. There really is. There really is. I mean, hell, man, your Bulls won their first game, brother.
Man,
man.
We didn't even have Zach. Dude. We didn't have
Zach. Hey, but P. Will got his starting spot at the power forward, though.
I don't know about that. I'll be honest with you.
There was a lot of talk. I was randomly kind of seeing like what was showing up and kind of like my feeds and things like that. And a lot of it was kind of like is Donovan gonna give P. Will the da? I don't know, but they won it anyway.
I don't know that he should be the starter. I'm not positive he's not better off the bench, and that's not even knocking
well, you
him.
know,
we'll get into that. That's next stream. We will do that.
Well, give that like a good like months worth of games, I think, and then start to see, you know what I mean? Give that like a
man.
give that like a.
The dude has had. He will starting to. I mean, he's not like Lowry, as far as I'm concerned, but a few more games he might be.
Ladies and gentlemen, I remember a time where there was a Mr. Ian Math that was. We got to get P Will. P Will's gonna be the guy.
Get there, man.
P Will's gonna be the guy that's gonna set all this up.
He's getting close to that put up or shut up type of deal.
Yeah, I agree. All
right.
That could be
rookie season. Okay,
that
it was a pandemic. That's not fair to anybody.
That could be a stream.
Okay, you got knocked out of the air in your second season.
Sure. That could be a stream, though. Put up or shut up.
All right, I will note that. Actually, I like that.
Because there are quite a few teams here that have some folks that, and I'm thinking about my boy playing small forward in Denver right now.
Mr. Michael Porter.
Yeah. Dummy, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm one. I think this is we're starting to get to a point where you really got to start to earn your money, man. There are quite a few teams that have people like that. Maybe a team in LA with all the clout.
Honestly, I was gonna say we could put up or shut up could be teams or players. It could be whole teams, say the Lakers, but it could be whole teams.
Well, I'm thinking kind of. I think it's going to be player focused. They're just going to be spread around a bunch of different teams until we get to the Lakers, because then it's going to really be.
It's just spread around the team, all of it.
It's going to be. But I think there are a lot of teams here. I mean, how like your Laurie. I think that if you're gonna really try and position yourself as a
he shut up a long time ago.
Fine, fair enough. But fair enough. But
if you put up enough useless stats,
if you don't do it this year, then there's nothing to say. I think there's a lot of players like that we can really kind of start to kind of run through and start to say, okay, hey, look,
we'll do that.
This is your shot. This is your shot to really do it, man. Because if you don't, then, hey, you can either just fall off into obscurity, or you can do kind of players like, say, like Aaron Gordon's or Blake Griffin's or something like that. And that's the thing, we can look at like redemption arcs. Like I think about what was that one guy with the Chicago Bulls? Back in the early 2000s, he was like a tall, skinny, light-skinned black guy. Turned out to be like a defensive player later on. Is Chandler?
Oh, okay, yeah,
Chandler. Tyson Chandler came into the NBA. His whole thing was about being more of like a attack the rim kind of stretch forward, more stretch like big, like
when he
came
like in guy, that he was going to be the first 7-foot shooting guard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But then he became actually a very, very solid defensive piece for the Mavericks and other teams, and was able to come in and like really completely change his game. I think there's stories there too where we can start to look at players that either completely change their game or change
the scenery type
their
of thing.
change
like we were
scenery.
talking about with
Wiggins and
Yeah.
Carter and
Yeah.
other players, you know. But also you
Yeah.
look at like there's also room to talk about players like even like Tim Duncan that completely changed his physique to build his longevity. There's a lot there, but especially if you look at like changing the way you play basketball to evolve and fit and to be able to actually be a strong contributor, especially later. Like you got again, like your Blake Griffins or like Aaron Gordon's. We got a bazillion of them out there that we can talk about, you know. And I think it's worthwhile to call that out to give some light to those folks those guys that really took the time and realized that hey, you know, let me change the way I play. And
for me to stay in this league, for me to do all these things, or for me to just win. Sometimes that's what it's about. It's not that I'm changing the game because I can't play anymore, or I need this or that. Sometimes it's just because my team needs X and I need to do X.
And there's I
Chris Bosh when he went to Miami.
Absolutely.
You know, that type of
those guys that just do that kind of thing and say, okay, I'm willing to.
This is what we're doing now. So what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing.
And I don't think those guys get enough credit. I think it's worthwhile to call that out. So okay, So we'll do hot takes. We'll do hot takes first on a couple things, especially around Brooklyn and a couple others, and then free girls in U City. Okay, so all right. First of all, all right. Let me give you a little bit of advice here. If you're gonna spam the channel, proper grammar helps. Let me just say this right now. Second of all, how many minutes has it been? I think you're good. I'm good. I think I'm good.
Yeah.
Get a life and get fucked. How about that?
I always feel in these moments like Shawn Michaels, more so to your Triple H, but like the 10 years ago, not the 20 years ago Shawn Michaels. But I feel like I should be going like
I'm just trying to check like how am I how long can I drop one? Can I drop one? Because you know,
I was supposed to like look away or something and like
spam like this. You know, this warrants this pasta. What is Paz 36 fun supposed to mean here?
It's that special.
Free girls in U City with a heart at the end. You realize that,
and then 49.
You realize
20 less than it should be.
Really, you also realize that there is a plethora of free porn on the internet, right?
Just saying. But they are not in U City. So
I don't know if I want them in U City. I don't. The idea is that they're off away from me, and I don't have to deal with them, and free girl. And also, I'm sorry, but I'm also gotta ask: are you free girls? Free girls, like what are they? Like, what service are you actually presenting here? You're really infringing on a lot of things here, first of all, and then also really promoting a lot of very illegal things, and then also again,
I mean, they were free. So that
it's
shouldn't be illegal
free,
necessarily.
and then
What is it selling though?
but also I don't know how I don't know exactly what you're promoting. There's no link to anything. There's no like
Yeah, it is true.
actual.
Just
Are people
say
supposed
free
to
girls.
click on this pass36.fun thing here and go to your site?
Maybe, you know what? Maybe these are free girls that will help promote our site and stream. Maybe that's what it is. There are some women that are out there that are looking to promote streams, and they came across ours. There's 49 of them according to the third one. So,
well,
yeah.
well, I can tell you how you can do that. What you can do is you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can also go over and you can follow and subscribe to our Twitch channel over at Getting Work Pod at Twitch, and you can follow us regularly. Drop us a comment and a like, and then in turn you can also direct people to our Patreon page, which is also effectively linked in both our Twitch and our YouTube channels. You can follow us on Twitter at Getting Worked P1. I need to fix that one. But hey, you know what? You know what? There's a zillion ways to be able to effectively support our stream that
Jarrett's a company
does not potentially involve human trafficking.
And on that note,
I'm so glad this happened. This was the mental gymnastics that I needed to happen right now. Just
Pos36.fun. Glad you're here.
Hey,
drop us a like, follow, subscribe,
or never come back again.
There you go. Either way, one of those two.
This just goes to show that you don't want to be a spam caller calling me.
Yeah,
no. Okay, so
all right.
This weekend, Ian and I are going to work out because we're getting back in the swing of things. We'll figure it out either Friday or Saturday. We'll figure it out. Oh, the good thing about YouTube too is that you can do announcements of streams ahead of time.
Oh, nice.
If you know, then that's our problem.
Yeah, we don't.
There's knowing. We gotta get, but if you can work it out ahead of time and know when you're gonna start it, then you can do announcements ahead of time for YouTube too. So it's really, really cool. We're really still figuring out the whole YouTube streaming thing. Done some stuff on Twitch, but for everyone who listens to this, please drop a like and a comment. That always helps with the algorithm. Drop a
comments are huge. Yeah,
likes and comments, especially. Obviously, also drop a subscribe. That very, very much helps the drive us up into the YouTube algorithm. We talk about NBA, we talk about wrestling, we talk about all kinds of stuff because
sometimes we even do gaming, which is ironically what we started off doing. So.
Well, I know. Yeah, we'll throw some games out there. We're starting to figure out some of the games that are coming out here recently. Recent or in the near future that we can start to play here on YouTube and figure out this whole YouTube streaming thing. But please follow us on all the socials. Tell your friends, tell your mama, tell everybody that you know. And with that, this is Getting Work signing off.
Later, fam.
You rip it to pieces. Take it into your veins, a medicine without pain. Visitors in your brain start kicking and screaming. Keep screaming. Run, run, when all of your friends are gone, you become undone. Run, run, your learning is not so fun when you're narrowed down to one. Run, 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 look at what you've done. Run, 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 keep on till you're narrowed down to none. A body from another life, chasing me through the sky. Know I'll have to run and hide, I'm a little bit terrified. Did I stumble into the end? Maybe it's where I begin. Burning in the ash within, I'm finally purified. Keep screaming. Run, run, when all of your friends are gone, you become undone. Run, run, your learning is not so fun when you're narrowed down to one. Run, 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 look at what you've done. Run, 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 keep on till you're narrowed down to none. Leave it all if it's old, it's the enemy. Wants to be one, better know your identity. Leave it all in the brawl or you'll never be one. Not living a life meant for anyone. Leave it all if it's old, it's the enemy. Wants to be one, better know your identity. Leave it all in the brawl or you'll never be one. Not living a life meant for anyone. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Look at what you've done. Run, 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 run. Not living a life meant for anyone. Run, run, when all of your friends are gone, you become undone. Run, run, your learning is not so fun when you're narrowed down to one. Run, 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 look at what you've